Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Sinnoh Cup for Go Battle League. The Sinnoh Cup gonna start on Monday again, together with the normal Great League, I think. But yeah, today we're going to take a look at the Sinnoh Cup and let's get right into the meta. So let's take a small look into the meta. We have a simplified graphic here by Swagtips, link in the description to him, which kind of shows the core meta, and for most of the part here I definitely agree with this. We have the core meta on the left side. We have something like the tanks and steel types, Empoleon, Bastion, you're gonna see them a lot. You have the poison types, which I think have not as much play as you might expect in the meta. It's still gonna be okay, like they're still not gonna be completely bad or anything like this. But I think the poison types have some issues. Then you have like the Ice and Ghost, and also like in general like mostly anti-fighter, and like Abomasnow is just Abomasnow there. But then you also have the anti-steel type Pokemon with Gastrodon and the two fighting type Pokemon there. And yeah, this is basically the main meta, you see it there. And the thing that's actually here really good is gonna be Gastrodon. Gastrodon gonna be like one of the craziest Pokemon there, because you see the other two fighters, you also beat them with the Mud Slap, and you beat all the steel types and also the poison types. So you basically, out of the core meta, Gastrodon beats 3 out of 4. So this thing gonna be definitely amazing, but it also gets hard-walled by Drifbloom, for example. So you're gonna see a lot of teams will have like some ghost type, because I think Gastrodon gonna be quite everywhere. So we have this, then we see on the right side some core breakers and spice. I think both of the core breakers in the beginning are really good. We have the Gliscor, we have the Galate, both of them have a lot of play right now. We have the neutral Pokemon there with the normal types of Lickitung, or not Lickitung, Licky, and the Munchlax, which are good. Debuffer, I mean, yeah, you can use Primplop, but not really. Grass has a little bit of a problematic standing there. There are not a lot of good grass types for this cup actually, which makes the Gastrodon even better, but also the Cresselia. And then we have like some fragile, scary memes here. I don't think it's all memes. I think especially the Magnezone gonna be core meta. I think it's gonna be a really good Pokemon. I'm not really expecting Razorleaf to be as viable in this current meta, even though we have Gastrodon as the best Pokemon. Just a lot of things that just hard wall that. Team number 1, we're gonna have the Drifbloom in the lead. We have Togekiss as well, which you can also use. We have like 2 options here which you can use in this team. For the lead Pokemon, we have as a say swap either the Licky or the Munchlax. No, like doesn't really matter what you want. They're both very similar. And then we have the Lucario on the back, which is a Pokemon where I think a lot of people are gonna be a little bit hyped about. It's rank 1 for this cup, but I don't really think it's gonna be as good as it looks right now. It has access to Power Punch, and basically what this means, usually it just baits in those calculations there and gets a shield and then hits something hard with a +1 Shadow Ball, which usually doesn't always happen. So yeah, it's not going to be as good I think as it looks in the meta, but it's still definitely going to be a decent Pokemon to use. And in general, this team does make a lot of sense. You can have the hardest anti-fighting type Pokemon, then lead you have something that gets out the potential fighting type Pokemon with the normal type say swap, and then you have Lucario, which might sweep in the end. And the second team looks really cool on paper. Like you have the Probopass on the lead, you have the Bastion as a other potential lead, you have the Drifbloom as a say swap, or the Cresselia, both of them are fine. And then you have the Toxicroak in the lead. And like this team looks really cool unless you face Gastrodon in the lead. This is basically all. If you don't face this team is so good and looks so fine. In general, the core of like Bastion and the Toxicroak looks really cool while having very decent say swaps. In general, like I think Cresselia are gonna be one of the safest say swap that they can run in this cup right now. And for those who don't have a great lead Cresselia, we still have the Drifbloom, which can deal with most of the stuff as well. Here again, you have Bastion or the Probopass in the lead. They don't really like fighting type especially, and you have 2 fighting type answers in the back, so basically covers for that. And other than that, it's definitely still a very solid team. You just have to be a little bit careful with Gastrodon. The third team has Magnezone in the lead, has the doesn't really matter actually. Like it can use both of the other Pokemon as a say swap here. Really depends on the lead that you use, and you can also use this backline with the lead that you had before with either Bastion or the Probopass as well. Here we just have them both in the back and have Magnezone in the lead, which has like a lot of potential in the current meta. Magnezone beats basically all of those bottom left meta Pokemon, all those flying types and or the ice types. So those beats also beats something like the Bastion and has a lot of play against a lot of things in general. Also all those poison types are in the meta. Just has to be a little bit careful about fighting types. So we have 2 fighting type answers in the back. And this definitely looks like a solid team as well. There are not a lot of pure dark types with like a lot of dark type damage in those meta. So having like 2 things weak to dark type is not even that bad, even though you have like Drapion or Skuntank. They're not even like the best matchups against those Pokemon in the back. Team number 4 gonna be Gastrodon in the lead, having 2 ice types in the back here with the Say-Swap of the Frostless and also Abomasnow in the back. Frostless, basically the main reason for using this is getting out those Bastion or Probopass, while then having the Abomasnow in the back, which can deal like a lot of damage against everything anyway. And the funny thing here is, of course, Gastrodon being like so good in the current meta, only really not wanting to see flying types. We have 2 flying type answers in the back, plus we have 2 fighting type answers on this team, which really benefits for like the Abomasnow on the back. And also, basically, you can get out the fire type with the Frostless Say-Swap and then still have a Pokemon that's weak to fire type in the back. So this team looks, in my opinion, like one of the best teams that you can run right now. Like, I don't really see the biggest flaw of this team. I think it's like, it looks at least on paper really good and really solid. I think it's gonna be really performing well. So definitely a team that you could use. Team number 5 gonna be Toxicroak in the lead. We have the Lickitung or the, not Lickitung, Licky or the Munchlax as a Say-Swap. And then we have the Frostless in the back. Again, this team should make at least some sense. We have a fighting type lead, which Bastion kinda doesn't really want to see, so we have a normal type Say-Swap, which hopefully gets out the Bastion, and we have like coverage for Bastion anyway on this thing. And then we have in the back the Frostless, which then hopefully doesn't have to face the steel types, or in general also like the rock types anymore, because they basically get baited out anyway by the Say-Swap. And then you should be able to sweep with the Frostless in the back, and I think this seems like a really solid team. Again, you also have like a double weakness to Psychic types in the lead, which then you have a Licked user in the Say-Swap position and a Ghost type in the back, so you have double coverage against this as well. Like, I think this team does make a lot of sense again, and seems pretty solid on paper as well. Team number 6, I think, we're gonna have Gliscor in the lead. You can of course use any of those Pokemon as well as Shadow. We have the Drapion as a Say-Swap, and we have the Magnezone in the back. Basically now we have 2 of those core breakers, which we showed already in the beginning in this team. And those 2 together are actually pretty decent, because you have the Gliscor, which is really good against the fighting types as you run wing attack, and also decent against ground types because you're flying. So also you have coverage with Earthquake in general against both ground and rock types, or also against something like the Bastion. So you can kind of avoid this with a Pokemon in the back, especially if you like swap out, if you have like a bad lead or anything like this, you swap out into the Drapion Say-Swap, you should be able to get out the Gastrodon then, and then your Magnezone basically has no counters whatsoever anymore. And I think that's definitely a very solid team and a very safe team as well. The next team, the 7th team here, we're gonna have Empoleon in the lead. We're gonna have Frostless or the Cresselia as a Say-Swap, and we have Drifblim again in the back. Drifblim looks really good in the current meta, especially if you can bait out those Bastion, and then it basically runs free. And here, it's actually kind of important that you have Drifblim plus the Empoleon together. There's not a lot of good cores with Empoleon. Empoleon is a really good Pokemon, but very difficult for me to like kind of link, I felt like. So I think having Empoleon in the lead and Drifblim in the back is like the best core that you can kind of have, because Empoleon beats Bastion and co. And we have the Drifblim, which can beat Gastrodon, which you don't really want to face with a Steel type in the lead. And also all those fighting types. So I think you kind of need those 2, and then you can use like a Say-Swap that kind of benefits them. I think either of the Say-Swaps here can benefit. I think Cresselia might be even a little bit better, but Frost is also totally fine, definitely gets out the best. For the next team, like, I just couldn't pass it up. When I saw that this was possible, I just had to build it, and it looks so good on paper again. we have Magnezone in the lead, we have Glade as a safe swap, and we have a Roserade in the back. And yeah, maybe like people who watch my channel for like a longer time already know this team. This team got me to rank 1 in the world. Basically, in Ultra League, we had Venusaur in the back instead of the Roserade, but both have the same typing. And now you can play that in Great League, where it's actually super decent. Again, you have the lead that kinda don't really want to see anything like that's ground type, for example, a Gastrodon. You have a Safe Swap which has access to the Leaf Blade, and then you have a Pokemon in the back that also is a hard counter to all those ground types. Like, it looks so good. Like, honestly, I'm really impressed with this team. I think it should be really decent. I definitely gotta give it a try because this is basically my team, and yeah, I was so happy with this. And the second to last team we're gonna have Propass or the Bastion in the lead. We're gonna have the Garchomp as a safe swap here. Garchomp looks actually pretty decent as a safe swap because like ground types in general are really good. And you have like so many nukes, and you have also Samtomb, which is cool. Like Samtomb plus Outrage plus Mudshot would be the moveset I would play. And then we have the Gastron in the back. Again, here we have two things weak to fighting types. Fighting types in this meta are all weak to ground types. So we have two ground types in the back to cover this up. And also, like in general, like you get out the ice types most likely with your Garchomp, but then you have like the lead that completely hard counters them again, and then you don't really have to face them with the Gastron in the back, which is cool because Gastron usually uses Body Slam as the main charge move, and Frostus, for example, doesn't really appreciate that too much. Or also you get out the flying type usually as well. This is like a Drifblim or whatever if you go into the Garchomp safe swap. So basically Garchomp baits out the things that the Gastron doesn't really want to see, and it's actually pretty decent, this team. And the last team here, we're gonna have most likely the most annoying team that you can have. Cresselia lead. We have the Propass as a safe swap. I would play it with Spark here and have like more of a spammier moveset. And then the Bastion in the back. Yeah, this team is something that not a lot of people would like to face. I think it's the most annoying and maybe most bulkiest team that you can run in this league. Cresselia with Grass Knot is good against all those ground types, against the Pokemon in the back, and like the Pokemon in the back are really good against those ghost types because they always have like a weakness as well against the rock types in this cup. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. I would appreciate this, and share it with your friends. And yeah, I hope you have a great Sinnoh Cup or play Great League. Otherwise, there's also a video about Great League on my channel, the best teams of this, so check this out, and see you in the next video. Bye!